Hello and welcome back to Crafted by Corie. If you're new, I'm Corie. Welcome to my channel. Super excited about today's projects. They're a little bit random, but I really like how all of them turned out. So I hope you'll stick around and let me know which one is your favorite. Let's go ahead and get right on into the crafting. DIY number one. Right, this is a light kit. It's a pendulum. Is that the right word? Pendant light kit that I got off of Amazon. It will be available in my Amazon store if it's something you want to check out. The link for my Amazon store is in my description box, but it came two to a pack. I think it was like something like $16, but I can't swear to it. But just trying to figure out how it actually functions. And then I grabbed this hanging basket from the Dollar Tree, as well as I think that's called macrame cord. It's just something I've had in my stash and I've used on several other projects. I took the chain off of the hanging basket and I am going to use this to make my lampshade. I'm just trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. I wasn't sure what to do as far as getting this wrapped. Clearly my spool is too large to put through here. So then I'm trying to figure out what kind of length of the cord I'm going to need. So I decided I was going to cover each of the upright, for lack of a better term, wires. So the wires that go from the middle there down to the larger ring of the basket. And I measured it off to try and see what I was starting with. So I had a good idea of what I was using. I measured it 30 inches when doubled. So these are going to be 60-inch lengths of the cord and doubled over. So 30 inches once doubled. And I'm attaching it to the basket there with just a simple loop knot. And then I'm going to simply just tie it around the wire. Now, it took me a minute to figure out what I was doing here. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. I needed to make sure I was getting that wire in the process. Yeah. Took me a second, but I figured it out. And then I went ahead and I did that all the way down the length of that first wire. Now I had only cut just the one for the time being because I wanted to see if my 30-inch length was going to be sufficient, if it was going to be too long, but it actually ended up being exactly what I needed. Not sure how I got that lucky, but it was perfect. And so when I got to the end, I just tied it off in a regular knot, just looping the two together, tying it through, and then I pulled it as tight as I could get it up along the base of the basket. And then once I had that all set, I went ahead and measured off a bunch of other lengths to take care of the rest of those wires. And so I counted those up. There were a total of 8, I believe. And I went ahead and measured off my 30 inches, doubling it up. So again, it's going to be 60 inches total. Cut that down. And then I went ahead and like I said, counted the number I needed and I measured off a whole bunch of them. So once I had all of my lengths cut, I was ready to go, just double checking that I have the right number, taking my next strand, and I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I did before all the way around the entire basket until I have all of it covered. And as I was tying the knots around here, it naturally wanted to twist around the wire, and I kind of liked the way that looked. You could probably keep it straight on if you want to, but I kind of liked it twisting, so that's what I did. So now I am trying to figure out how I'm going to cover the base. And so I'm wrapping it around here, I believe a total of 5 times, because again, I am going to be wrapping this around all the way around the base, and I want to make sure that I have enough of my cord to do that. And so I'm pretty sure it was 5 times around the base of the lampshade basket. And that, again, I got really lucky. I don't know, I just really got very lucky with what I was doing here with my lengths. So definitely no skill involved in that. It was just an educated guess. and I'm going ahead and I'm wrapping this all the way around. So as you can see, I've got those knotted pieces with the tails hanging down. So as I go around here, I'm just lifting those tails up. You can kind of see them there, and I'm covering them with the cord that I'm wrapping around the base. So just incorporating that whole thing, and then I'm crossing over the next one. I'll grab up those tails, and I'll just wrap and wrap and wrap, and so that everything is nice and neat and hidden. My cord was starting to twist the opposite way of the way it wants to be twisted, so I just fixed that real quick and twisted it properly. And then I did the same thing around the top. I was just doing my best to cover up all of the black metal. Some of it shines through a little bit. I was okay with that. But I went ahead and did that all the way around the top, making sure that everything was nice and wrapped. And then I secured the little ends that I had tucked under and clipped off. Just a little teeny bit of hot glue there, just so that I made sure they weren't going to unravel. And now I'm ready to add my lamp kit, if you will. And this is so cool because it's basically, I think it's a 15-foot length, and it has a little switch on the cord itself. You just plug it right into the wall after you have it hooked up to your lampshade. So you can see me putting it in through the top, screwing on the bottom piece, just getting that tight and secure, and then it's just ready for a light bulb. You plug it into the wall, you hang it wherever you want to hang it, and you have a cute little lamp. And there's so many different things you can do to create a lampshade with these hanging baskets. This was just one way that I thought to do it. If you like this, let me know and I'll come up with a different idea for the same type of thing, because I have that other one to work with. DIY number 2. All right, I have balloons. These were just what I had in my stash. I'm going to blow them up and get them. I didn't want them to be too big, but these balloons are relatively large to begin with. So I made them as small as I could get them, but still giving them some sense of stability, like a little bit of firmness to them. If you have smaller balloons and you want to make these orbs smaller, I would recommend getting smaller balloons, but these ended up working just fine. So these are paper covered wires that I'd gotten off of Amazon. These are also in my Amazon store. And my thought was I could wrap and wrap and wrap around the balloon and create, decorative orbs. I was on the struggle bus big time when I first started out with this, you guys. I just wasn't wrapping it tight enough. And quite honestly, I started thinking maybe this was going to be a fail. Maybe it just wasn't going to work. But eventually, struggling, I was like, oh no, maybe this isn't going to happen. But I found that if I secured it a little bit more snugly around the balloon, and that's the great thing about the balloon having that give. So you can see it kind of bulging around my wire now a little bit. So you just want to make sure you pull it tight enough that the balloon will give it some support until it's able to support itself. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm just wrapping it randomly around the balloon, just like you would wrap a ball of yarn. And anywhere I saw that there was a little bit more air or gap, anywhere that the balloon was showing through a lot, that's where I took the wire through. And I just continued to do that around the balloon until I got it to where I wanted it. And I'm kind of like squeezing it here and there as I go. And I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that it remains in the form that it's in. But once I got it to where I wanted it, I went ahead and clipped it off with my wire cutters. I'm tucking in that end. I'm going to make sure I twist it around on one of the other wires so it's nice and secure and isn't going to come unraveled. And forgive my clock in the background, but here I am. I'm just going to start squeezing it. You can see some of it's starting to come off. I'm like, no, you got to stay on there. So I started squeezing it, and just kind of bending, and in the process the balloon popped, which is fine because that was ultimately what I was going to do with it and once I was done forming it. But just squeezing it slightly to give the wire some form and to get it to not want to come apart. So I just kind of pushed it in certain areas where it needed it, and I had my orb. I was so excited that this worked. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this other color. And now that I've got one done, we live and we learn. So now I'm doing this one just nice and snug around the balloon and making sure that it's not going to come undone. And I had a lot more success right off the bat with this one now that I had done one before. And you can see my balloons kind of getting a little flat, but don't worry about that, because in the end you're going to be able to kind of smoosh this to the shape that you want. Make sure it's nice and round. It all works out. So just keep on wrapping it, wrapping. And you can make this as dense or as light as you want. I wanted mine to have kind of an airy feel, but if you want yours to have less of that, less holes, so to speak, go ahead and wrap it some more. Do what makes you happy and what makes your heart happy and what looks pretty to your eyes. So went ahead, tucked that in, got it secured. And then I went ahead and started squeezing this one as well, just making sure that it was nice and secure, that none of the little strands felt like they wanted to go sliding off the ball. I did twist a couple of them and kind of tuck them into each other. And I just think that these turned out so well. And clearly it's a really quick and easy project. And then I took my wire cutters and I pierced the balloon. I don't know, something very satisfying about that. But that's all you have to do to create these. And then I did the same thing again with a third one. So I've got 3 of these little decorative orbs. You could put them on a shelf. You could put them in a bowl on a table. There's so many different things you can do to decorate with these, and I love them. And I think they're a lot of fun, and they were super easy to make and super quick. But let me know what you think. DIY number 3. All right, this is some tempered glass that my sister didn't need. She gave it to me. It was originally meant for an iPad, like a screen protector. And I had been seeing online there, so actually TikTok. I recently have become a little obsessed with TikTok, and Andrea Nelson Art is somebody who I think is so super fun. She has great ideas, and I saw her doing these alcohol ink projects on glass, and I thought, well, you know what, maybe I can use this tempered glass for this project. And I'm gonna leave a link, I think I can leave a link for TikTok in my description box in case you want to check out Andrea Nelson Art. I just think she's great. But I got a piece of microfiber cloth and my rubbing alcohol, and I'm just cleaning off the glass. I think I have all the film off of it. I'm honestly not 100% sure. Yeah, you're going to see in a second. So another caveat, that's 70% isopropyl alcohol, but it calls for 91%. So I was already kind of not doing things the way that I was supposed to. But these are the alcohol inks that I got off of Amazon. These are also available in my Amazon store. They've got so many fun colors. I was super excited to try these out. Andrea made it look so easy. I thought, oh, that'll be a cute little project, you know? So if you do decide to try out alcohol inks, they do stain everything very easily. So you want to make sure you protect your surface. If you're worried about staining your hands, you might want to wear gloves. I was just diving right into it. So it comes with these little piercing thingies to pierce the bottles. Clearly I needed to do that, and then I got ink everywhere. So I went ahead and pierced the colors that I was using. I believe one was a watermelon. another, I think it might have been lime and raspberry, I want to say. It's kind of funny. They're all like fruit flavors. But at any rate, I got all of my little bottles pierced and ready to go. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do exactly what Andrea did. So I grab one of my red/pink tones and I'm dripping drops. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not doing what hers did. I don't understand. It's supposed to kind of spread out and bloom. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I need some rubbing alcohol on the glass. Maybe I missed a step. So I grabbed one of these squirt bottles that I had picked up from the Dollar Tree, filled it up with some alcohol. Mind you, it's the wrong kind of alcohol, right? It's 70%. It's not 91%. I have since invested in 91% isopropyl alcohol. But anyway, I decided I was going to put a little bit of the alcohol on there. Clearly, you can see that's kind of puddling up, or not puddling, but kind of coming together. The ink started doing a little bit more of what I expected, but not really. It's not doing it. It's just not working. And so the only thing I could figure was maybe it's because it was tempered glass. I don't really know how tempered glass works, but yeah, this is me being determined to try to make something of this. And yeah, using a paintbrush, trying to get it to do something, and clearly it does not want to work on the tempered glass. Yeah. So I'm a hot mess, you guys, with this. But I was determined to do something with this. So when I decided that the tempered glass really wasn't going to work, I went ahead and I got it cleaned up. I figured maybe I could use it for something else. Unfortunately, I ended up breaking it. So anyway, I moved on to a Dollar Tree picture frame with a glass insert. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the glass piece. Don't mind my table. It's clearly stained with the alcohol ink at this point. And I went ahead and used my alcohol to clean off the glass. Just wanted to make sure it was nice and clean, nothing on it. And I'm going to give this another shot with the alcohol ink. And now it's doing what it's supposed to do. Yay! Except, see those kind of harsh lines around it? Yeah, I think that's because I used the wrong kind of alcohol to clean the glass, maybe? I don't know. If you've used alcohol inks, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know what I'm doing wrong here, because this is sure not looking like Andrea's. Now, that being said, ultimately, I really did think it was kind of cool the way that the whole thing turned out. This is definitely an impressionist type of piece for me. Yeah, now I'm supposed to be drawing like little leaves. Those were supposed to be flowers. Those big red and pink blobs are supposed to be flowers. And now I'm supposed to be making like little leaf shapes. Definitely check out Andrea Nelson art because it's so pretty what she ends up making with this. And like I said, she makes it look so easy. I'm going to have to try it again with using the 91% alcohol to clean my glass, and maybe that'll make all the difference. I'm not really sure. But right now, I'm committed to making all of these little blobs, and I thought, you know what? It's not really looking like flowers, but I'm going to just go with it, and I'm going to end up with some kind of fun art piece regardless. So I had brought in some blue. I think that might be blueberry. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think all of these colors have like fruit names to them. But I went ahead and continued to add in my different colors and just experimenting. This is the first time I have ever used alcohol ink, you guys. And I have to admit, it was kind of fun. So I will definitely be trying it again. I just need to do a little bit more research, I think. Because I clearly don't know how to manipulate it at the moment. But once I had pretty much all of my glass covered, I did want to make sure that I was covering all of it. For whatever reason, I decided I didn't want a lot of white space. But then I also had ordered, in addition to this set with all of the fruit colors, I had also ordered a set of metallic alcohol inks. So here I'm just getting my inks put away, and I'm going to grab my metallic inks because I decided I wanted to add some gold. Oh, I guess I'm not quite done with my green here. So I did grab out my metallics. I found my gold. I'm not sure why I'm showing you all of this. Sorry, you guys. Bear with me because we are going to go ahead and get some of this done. Putting all of my paints away like a good girl. All right, so you can see when I lift it, it's very translucent. And so when I put the piece together, Andrea recommends putting a piece of white paper behind it so that all of your colors are very vibrant. So you can see when it's on my table there, the colors are just much more vivid than when I had lifted it up. So here I am with my gold, metallic gold. This actually might have been a rose gold now that I think of it. This was a little set of 6, I believe, different little metallic colors. And so I picked out the rose gold and I was just trying to give it little dots here and there. I think I end up having to pierce it again because I didn't quite get the hole completely pierced. So poking my hole in there and then applying my little metallic dots. Now at this point I had decided I was just going to let it be impressionistic, and I'm just adding some dots here and there where I thought they might look pretty with the metallic. And again, I definitely want to give this a different shot. I want to try it again after I do a little bit more research. So while that was set aside to dry, although alcohol inks dry pretty quickly because of the alcohol, it just evaporates. I'm giving my frame a coat of white chalk paint. This is my Adirondack White by Home Decor. I just went ahead and made sure that the whole thing was covered. And again, I don't know why I am showing you so much of my painting here. I thought I had removed some of this from the video. Clearly I did not. I'm still recovering from my COVID, you guys. I'm having a little bit of brain fog, so bear with me. We're almost through the painting. Although I understand some people enjoy the painting part because it's relaxing to watch, but all right, here we go. The frame is painted and dry, and now I've got my piece. So when I set this down, I'm going to have the painted side facing me. So the glass part, the glass pane with nothing on that side is what faces out. I cut down some regular copy paper to 8 by 10, pop that in. I'm putting my back on the frame, and that's it. And look at this. It's not flowers, but I think it's cute. Let me know what you think. And now it's time for a shout out timeout. Beautiful Valerie, I love all of the patriotic decor you guys have been working on, and awesome Kathy, these are super sweet too. Thank you so much for sharing. I would love to give you a shout out as well. If you have interest, just send me an email at craftedbycorie@gmail.com. DIY number 4. All right, this is a piece of, I think it's called pressed board. I had it in the garage. This is a 14 by 14 inch piece. Gonna use my Adirondack white chalk paint again for this one. This is the same color I used on the frame in the last project. Once that was dry, or while it was drying, I guess, I had gone ahead with my Cricut and I had created these words and got it all cut out on my vinyl. And now I am just weeding it out. We're gonna fast forward here. There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. I thought this was such a sweet phrase, and so I went ahead and got it onto my transfer tape, and now I'm using a neat trick that I've seen other crafters use. I can't remember specifically who did this, but I've got a piece of parchment paper underneath it so that it's not going to automatically adhere to my piece until I'm ready for it to do that. So I'm just getting it all lined up, making sure that it is centered and even, and I've only got the top like 2 inches of it exposed right now. And so I went ahead and pressed that down. And then I was able to pull the parchment paper out from under it and get it secured down on to my board. And once that was done, I was able to go ahead and smooth it all down, making sure everything is nice and secure before I remove my transfer tape. And just pulling that off slowly, making sure that everything is on there securely so that I can go ahead and stencil it. Now, usually I would go ahead with my white paint again and do a base coat to help with bleeding, but I decided to go for it. I'm just using a very dry makeup sponge with this. So kind of like you would dry brush, I'm dry makeup sponging. I didn't want to go too fast with the paint because I do want to avoid bleeds. So I'm going in very dry and just applying multiple coats. And I just continued to do that until it was the depth of color that I wanted it for my piece. And once I had that all done, I was able to go ahead and pull off the vinyl. And we've got our reveal. And this piece has got so much lettering to it that I did end up ripping the vinyl here and there. This was stuck on there pretty good. And I actually ended up with really nice crisp lines, which made me happy. But this vinyl really wanted to stay put. So I'm just peeling it up, and I'm not worrying about the part that's tearing because I can go back and peel that up later. So I just wanted to be careful that I didn't smudge my paint because it is still a little bit wet here. So I want to be careful that I don't end up sticking my hand in it or smearing it or, making a mess of it. But it got really nice crisp lines, which made me very happy. See how crisp those are? And then I just went ahead and used my weeding tool to get all of the little bits and pieces and making sure that everything that needed to be removed was removed, and that was that. So now this is from the Dollar Tree. These are wall stickers, and I thought they were really pretty, soft colors. They're just a whole bunch of flowers and succulents, and I'm gonna decorate the rest of my sign with them. And I'm just gonna place them around wherever they look nice to my eye. I might have used a little too many of them. I might have done well to leave some extra white space, but I don't know. I actually like the way that it turned out. But if an artist were to look at it, they might say, or a graphic designer, they might tell me that I probably should have left some extra white space. Not really sure. But that's the great thing about crafting. We can make it the way that we want it, and we can create things that make our hearts happy, right? So I encourage you to use your creativity to make it however you want. Use the things that I do are really just for inspiration. Feel free to change up the colors. If you don't like blue, then maybe you like hot pink, or maybe you like purple or green. Whatever it is that you like, I encourage you to find inspiration in the things that you see us crafters do online and create something that is completely customized to your tastes, your decor. Maybe you don't like the flowers, but maybe you find something else that you like instead. So there are so many possibilities, but I'm just going to go ahead and continue to put all these flowers around. I did ultimately end up using all of the stickers on the sheet. It's a double-sided sheet. I guess technically it can open up and be one full page because they kind of have it folded in half, but I did use every single last one of them. And I'm just going to let the music play for a moment and let you see what I did. Okay, so now I have all of my flowers on, and I'm going to grab my craft paper because I want to go ahead and cover up the back and make sure everything looks nice and clean and professional. And so I measured off the amount that I was going to need. I'm flipping it up, and I'm going to give it a really good crisp seam here. Seam? Fold. Crisp fold. So using my fingernails, making it nice and crisp, and then I'm just going to take a sharp edge. You could use a knife. You could use a cake spreader. You can use the side of your scissors like I'm doing. But I didn't cut it. I just used that to tear it. And so I got a nice, what's the, straight, that word. Nice straight line. Oh boy. All right, and now I am gonna go ahead and figure out where I need to trim it off the other direction. Again, nice crisp line, using my fingernails to do that, and using my edge of my scissor to just shear that off. And I'm going to go ahead and seal it to the back of my project. I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue wood glue. I'm just putting a little bit around the whole edge, and I put a little bit more on that decal at the top just in case, I don't know, I felt like it needed it for whatever reason. And I'm putting this down. Now I should have put it curling side down because it just would have helped me out a little bit. It wouldn't have kept curling up like this. It would have stayed flat. So I just held it for a minute until it was cooperating, and then I flipped it over, and the weight of the piece was going to be more than sufficient to help it dry flat. Grabbed my self-healing mat. I'm using my X-Acto knife to trim off the excess brown paper. And once I had that all done, I'm literally just running it along the edge of the piece, and it's cutting off all of that extra paper, perfectly in exactly the right place. So just peeling that away. I did catch a little bit of the edge of the sticker that was wrapped around the back, but not a big deal. And now I'm going to take my matte Mod Podge, and I am going to give the entire piece a generous coat of the Mod Podge. That is going to protect my paint, my stenciling, but it's also going to seal in the edges of those stickers so that they won't peel up. Not that they would necessarily peel up, but I am just making sure that over time they have no way to peel up. They are going to be permanently adhered to this piece. And just making sure that all of the little edges are sealed down. Some of the stickers where I had folded them over just need a little extra help. But there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. I hope that you enjoyed this piece. Please remember to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a comment. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope you'll consider doing that and visiting with me again sometime soon. But let me know. Oh, I'm not quite done. I was going to say, let me know what you think of this one. But I'm going to go ahead and add a hanger to it. This is a piece of wire that I had in my stash. It was actually trash. It came off of a roll of chicken wire, and I decided I was going to keep it because I might need it for something, and here we are. Wendy from White Sparrow Living says it's not hoarding if you use it, so I totally subscribe to that mindset. But I stapled it down on both sides with my stapler, and I'm just twisting it around on itself so that it won't pull out, and I've got my hanger, and there we go. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the projects. If you did, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know which one you liked the most. And until the next time, be well, be kind, and make it a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care. Bye.